This is the final song in the series on the theme of the providence of God, which has been a subsection of the overarching theme of the authority and kingship of the Lord Jesus. And I'm finishing not with a hymn, but with a psalm, Psalm 121. The Psalms are full of teaching about the kingship and the providence of God in the affairs of nations, in creation, nature, and particularly in his detailed providence and government of the lives of his children. And I've chosen this one because it is, of course, very much about God's providential care of his children on our pilgrimage towards Zion. He will be our keeper. He never sleeps. He will protect us. He will guide us. He will defend us. He will keep our going out and our coming in. It's, as it were, 24/7, watching over us and providing for us. But the main reason of choosing is because in encouraging us about God's providence for us as his children and his people, he says, he draws the attention of the readers or the singers to the fact that the Lord is the maker of heaven and earth. In other words, he points us to God's providence in creation to encourage us to trust his providence in our own lives. And when it says the maker of heaven and earth, as it does in many psalms, it doesn't just mean that God created and, as we said yesterday, set certain laws of nature or laws of the universe in motion and sort of sits back and watches them work. But when it says the maker, it also means he is creator and sustainer. In other words, God is actively involved, as Calvin said, not only watching with his eyes, but actually working with his hands in all the affairs of nature, whatever they may be. His active creatorship is an ongoing reality, and that's what we mean by providence. John Calvin calls creation the theatre of God's glory, where God displays his glory and not least his providence for all people to see. And according to Paul in Romans chapter 1, God has made it so very clear that he is a God of power, order, wisdom, beauty, kindness, love. Creation shouts it aloud, but it's the sinfulness in our own hearts, our willing sinfulness to be blind to these things, that closes our eyes to what providence is saying in creation. And one of the main things that should happen when we come to Christ is that our eyes are opened and creation becomes a daily, unceasing voice to us of the incredible providence of God, which we then apply to his own dealings and purposes in our lives. I lift up my eyes to the hills, but for my help where do I turn? The Lord sends me help from above, the maker of heaven and earth. He'll not let your foot slip or slide, your keeper is never asleep. The keeper of Israel, he neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Lord is your keeper alone, your shade to protect from the heat. By day you'll not faint in the sun, by night you'll have nothing to fear. The Lord will keep you from all harm, your life he will keep and defend. He'll keep you in all of your ways. Today today until your journey's end. Today until your journey's end. Today until your journey's end.